This video is going to go over the front end of POS Lavu. To get started, we'll tap the Lavu icon on the top left. There are many different options in here. The first option is about POS Lavu. This option lets you know what version of the app that you're running. There's also a rate option in here and a help option. If you tap help, it'll take you through a couple different screens on the front end to get you more familiar with the interface. The next option is the exit location. If you have more than one location, you'll be able to select them here if they're chained together. If they're not chained together, you can hit exit, go back to the original login screen, and enter that other location. You can hit go once you've selected the location, and it'll load all your images and get you back into the app. The next option is to reload your settings. Anytime you make a change in the back end, you do need to reload the settings on the front end in order for those changes to take place. Typically, there will be an automatic prompt once you made a change in the back end, but if not, you can manually reload your settings this way. The next option is the front-end printer setup. From here, you can set up a kitchen printer or a receipt printer rather than logging into the back end. You can set up different access levels so that only someone with an admin pin can access and edit them. Say we're going to set up a receipt printer. If it's on the same network, we can send a test print to it, or we can edit this. We can edit the name and what type of printer it is. We can remove or save as well. The next option is the register functions. There are 4 different options in here. First option is to select the register. Since we set up our receipt printer, it's listed in this list here. So we can select distro training. The next option in register function is the register summary. If you have any orders that were ran through today, it'll print out a summary for that register that you've selected. If you don't have any orders, you'll get this message, no orders found for this day. The next 2 options are a paid in and paid out function. If you do a paid out, it'll take whatever amount you put in out of your drawer. It'll also print out a little slip, and the drawer will be $5 short, or the amount that you put in. If you do a paid in, if they bring you change, you can put that in. And your drawer will now know that you're only $2.50 short in your drawer. The next option is the server functions. There are 3 different options typically in here. The first one I do not have turned on, which is server summary. If you turn that on, it'll allow your servers to access their server summary. If not, the manager will have to print it out. If the server has an admin pin, they can enter the management area. And then lastly is the server tips. If you had any transactions that were ran through today, you'll be able to find them here, and the server will be able to enter their tips manually. The next option is the manager functions. From here, we can go to the management area. There are 8 different options in here. The first option is shifts. From here, we can see that I had a shift that started at 2:42 a.m. and it went until 1:27 p.m. We can then view that X report or print the X report if needed. If we wanted to start a new shift for the house, we can just tap Start New Shift for the house and hit Yes. It'll start a new shift from 1:27 to 1:49 p.m. today. We can return to the management menu. We can also view any clock punches. We can see if our employees clocked in. We can then clock them out or delete those. There are more settings in the back end in the report section under time cards to manage these settings as well. We can also transfer orders. So you can transfer tab or quick serve orders that are open, or you can transfer tables that are open. So if you tap on the table, it lets you know what the table name is, how many guests are there, the server name, and the total on there. So you can then tap the transfer to button. You can transfer it to any other server that's available. We can also view our sales totals. So it'll pull up the totals that we've done for today. You can either do this by orders closed on or orders created on. Down on the bottom, it lets you know how much cash was ran in, how many cards you ran, how many card tips there were, or any cash tips, and the amount to take in on the bottom. We also have our cash reconciliation. This basically is for your till in and till out reports. We can see here that we have 2 tills today. One was ran at 1:28 and closed out at 1:28. The other one was open at 1:51 and closed at 1:51. So we can do another till in. So we're going to say we start our drawer with $300. We'll hit submit. We can view that till summary if we want, or we can just hit till out. We're going to end our drawer with $500 in it. If we click submit, we can either print this or view it. So we can just view this till summary, and we can see that we have $200 over in our drawer. Back to the management menu, we also have the server reconciliation. It does the same thing as the cache reconciliation, just as a server view. And then we can adjust our inventory. So if we got another 24 bottles of Budweiser, we can just hit 24 bottles and tap the refresh button on the top. It'll add that to our inventory and also add it to the back end as well. And then lastly, we can settle our credit card batch. This is only for some gateways. We can settle the batch on the front end as opposed to logging into the back end to do it there. You want to make sure that you've adjusted all your tips before you settle the batch. If we go back to the Lavu icon, we have our last three options here. The last two pertain to the quick serve and the tab layout. So if we wanted to toggle to our other layouts, we're able to. We can then go to the table layout, or we can go into the tab layout as well. And then the last option is the language option. So if you have a customer, or if you don't speak English and you want to translate everything that's hard-coded in Lavu over to the language that you speak, you can definitely do that by selecting one of these languages here.